You mean you've been stressed out? I've just been trying to maintain, period. Trying to see if I can get things moving, get people to support this business. So, I can do some better things. I'm sure. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm hearing here. We know it's not that one. We know it's not that one. And we do know it's this one. Yeah, because you didn't care. This is not nothing going on. This makes sense. You guys, I am having the worst time trying to connect, so just be patient with me. But I don't think I'm going to get connected tonight. Oh, okay. So you guys bear with me here. I'm just trying to get this video together. There is no telling what you have just heard me talk about or say while trying to get this together. Okay, so just got to make sure I'm getting everything correctly here. I need to mute that out so I won't be hearing it. We definitely don't want to hear that there. So if I didn't introduce myself, you guys already know who it is. It's Ashra Israel, aka Gemini 21, Ray the Lamb. Woo! And you're turning into Universal Chit Chat BK Universal Spirit Music 8. But I'm gonna do that again. Once again, you about to catch bloopers here. You definitely about to catch you some bloopers right here. My anxiety is bad because I just messed up the whole beginning of this podcast. But this is the podcast live. Seriously. This is Universal Spirit Music 8 podcast live. So you don't know what you about to hear right here, right now. Seriously, I just want to be honest with you. So I'm gonna be in and out. This is the live where you hear me doing the podcast, and this is also the podcast. So whatever you don't catch on a platform, as far as the podcast platforms, Universal Spirit Music 8 is on, such as Spotify, podcasters, any of that. Then you can definitely come catch it here, but this is just like a real live view. Everything is lagging. Gotta update some things, but we still about to try to go. Okay. So you're gonna hear me fumbling. You're gonna hear me doing all types of stuff. I'm just setting some things up around me real quick. Got a little yarn going on just because it's been a draining day mentally. Things can drain you. You're gonna hear me setting up for the podcast. If you guys want to join in on a podcast, chime in and let me know. I'll send you the link. All right, you guys, what's up? It is that's right. It's right. L, aka Gemini 21 Ray the Lamb, and you are tuning into Universal Chit Chat, aka Universal Spirit Music 8, 808. And guess what? We're also tuning into Ray's Universal Spirit Music 8 podcast live on YouTube. So either way, you can join us. Um, right now, I'm just kind of like wait checking back in here. Number one, the holidays is coming up, so I kind of want to ramble a little bit about the holidays. Um, as I told you guys, I am structuring some things, working on some small but large projects at the same time. Just make sure we got some volume over here too. Yep. So, yeah, just working on a few projects. And one of the projects I was just discussing and talking about was this holiday fundraiser. This is going to be a constant fundraiser that is going at all times, receiving donations, and all the funding for it goes, or anything donated to this fund goes straight into its own area, and it's strictly for holiday funding. Okay, so that's what I just got through doing, and I want to take the time to invite you guys also. Even though I'm late, I'm really, really late, but it's still some time. I want to invite you guys to a virtual Thanksgiving supper that I will be holding and hosting. And you can find the link for it on www.thegreatomnismchurch.wordpress.com. Or if it's easier, you can just visit www.pushray, that's Ray R-E, ions IONS 123 inc.org. Now, when you go to Pushray Ions 123 inc.org, you will find a page that says Our Church. So when you go to Our Church, even though you can probably find the post on one of the update event pages on Push Ray Ions. But the best thing to do is go to Our Church, and when you go to Our Church, navigate to the fundraising page, and on the fundraising page, you're going to see a invitation for this virtual Thanksgiving supper. You're going to see some links, some registrations, and you're also going to see some forms and donation forms where you can donate money, and this money will go into the hands of individuals who need. So, not all people need the same thing, and some people may need some money to get some food. Some people may need just a turkey. Some people may need um something last minute, and they didn't even know, and they didn't find out until Thanksgiving when they was trying to figure out some food. So I want to be one of those provisions, and maybe you can help with that. Um, so we're receiving donations at the moment, and as you can see, when you visit, there's a place provided for you to make your donations. Unless, however, persons want to do the Cash App option, PayPal, whatever it is, and it it'll be able to be done in private, or however, you can find more instructions on the page and then contact me to get a more detailed breakdown. So, also, there's a registration form on the page for individuals who visit the fundraising page and are requesting help. There will be a list of persons who signed up to be that provision, to say, hey, if someone needs something, just call me. And that's pretty much what that is. If someone needs something, just call me. So there is a form set up for persons of in need to register. Okay, we have a RSVP, and there is also a booking site. So whatever you need is there. Period. I just wanted to say I am so thankful for some things, and then I want to be honest and say I'm not thankful for some things this year. If I keep yarning, just know that every time I touch down on my podcast, I yarn ever since I started doing that. I started that one podcast back in 2020 about yarning and how it's contagious and it affects everyone. So you might hear me yarn a thousand times, okay? Um, I kind of want to talk about Thanksgiving though, because I was doing some research and I went all the way back into the times that, Thanksgiving was first created, and I went and I researched. And when I researched, I looked back and I said, wait a minute. Do people understand what this says? You know me. I'm about to go to the root. I'm gonna dig it up. I'm gonna dig up what's in the dark at the root, and I'm gonna make it bloom. Bring it to the light. Bring it to the surface. But what they say Thanksgiving about is thanks to God and for everyone and everything else that's been provided to you along the way. I think that's the base reason for Thanksgiving. But when you really look at what happened for Thanksgiving to be, that would kind of make you turn a little left, okay? If you know me, you know that I'm gonna go all universal on it for real. So basically, what happened was, if you guys remember Plymouth Rock, this is coming from my own divine spirit, but Plymouth Rock, they just sailed over here to this land, and when they didn't got up in this land, they started helping and helping and helping. And the crazy part about it is not necessarily that a person's need help. It's just that what they had was a relief from what they were already going through. You know, but yeah, they then went on this Plymouth Rock. This the Pilgrims. They then landed on Plymouth Rock. They then established. They then established a place to sink their hooks in. I'm gonna say they made land. They claimed the land. Even though the Indians stayed there first, they claimed the land as their own. And the issue is that they put these Indians in a position to need, to have to ask, to be in desperation, and it worked. I believe that it worked because nowadays we still see somewhat of the same situation going on around us. But I just can't help but to believe that, you know, and what they had done instead was take Indians into slavery. That's what I believe. Because these Indians had their own way of life, their own way of living. It wasn't modernized, but they lived in the old times. Now, you guys, now nowadays what we got going on? I just ain't want to say it like that, but I'm like, nowadays what we got going on? What do we have going on back then? We had slavery, and we got some types of modern day slavery going on today. And it all seems to branch from the same type of situation, which means that someone oppressed another person to gain off of them, if you know what I mean. And the Indians were suppressed in order to need the pilgrims. And the pilgrims, how on the other hand, were just able to manipulate that situation and make them have to slave after and for. At first, it wasn't no slavery. It was just like, hey, you guys are equal. But the only thing I feel personally myself that equality was for was that they needed to gain trust. How can I say? They needed to gain trust, and they needed them to do what they needed them to do, which was build everything. They didn't want to build it, but they had the knowledge of how to build it. And that's what they taught. Eventually, like I said, it's been going on for centuries, decades, eons. Eventually, they ended up basically taking over somebody else's idea. Taking over someone else's idea and taking over their land, taking what belongs to them, and keeping it as their own. They took that land from those Indians and then fed them off the harvest that they were harvesting for them. We have to understand this. Now, I'm thankful for a lot. But I just don't think that. I think they need to change the reasoning and the history behind Thanksgiving Day because I just don't see it as fitting. It doesn't fit in there. Um, it doesn't fit where people take something from someone else, claim it, and then make them slave in order to gain from their own original home, their land, their environment. So I respect Thanksgiving. And I thank the Creator because I'm still here able to explain it. A lot of other people are here, but I just want to be honest and tell the truth about how I think that the Pilgrim Indian situation happened anyways for them to end up at a feast. You know, you make deals with people and you don't know you're making deals with people. They gave everything and all that knowledge to the Indians just like the extraterrestrials gave knowledge to man in exchange for something no. In exchange for a piece of knowledge. But y'all, I'm not with that. I don't know if people thought about that. I'm not with slavery and taking, cause I lived that life. People taking stuff and then saying they took credit for it. Oh no, right? But I am, however, thankful for the fact that I got this business. I'm still got this podcast. I'm still doing good, even though I got tripped up. I'm still doing good. I still got what I need. I just couldn't I might not have been able to get things started with my business as fast as I wanted to, but I still have it and I'm still have the ability to create to start it up. It's coming together. So that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that I met someone that could possibly be right for me. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the fact that I still got a I'm always got a roof over my head. Even if I don't want to have people living with me and being around me, I'm thankful for the fact that I was able to provide over a roof over others people's heads. That I'm able to provide food and that we have heat, shelter, clothing, everything that's needed. I'm thankful that my mind has been clearing up, the fog has been clearing out, and I've been given a lot more clarity to some situations. I'm thankful that I'm able to preach and talk freely without being saying, "Hey, you don't, you're a bad minister or you're a bad speaker." Or I'm glad that I'm able to express things through the word with the church, with the congregation, with the organization. I am glad. I'm glad that my mind started working because I could think and I flew through these things. So I really am thankful regardless of what people think about how I feel, y'all. But I don't think that we should be thankful for being placed in a modern slavery state of mind while everything that we or people work to achieve is coordinated by someone else, right? Coordinated by someone else. And you guys, it would be my luck. It definitely would be. I want to make sure everything is straight because we do, however, keep having data breaches. So luckily, I don't have anybody, any clients or any customers or whatnot yet. So excuse Ray Legion LLC or any of the other websites. Um, if you see that it still says data breach, data breach, data breach. Okay. But anyways, back to the conversation. We're just gonna go ahead and read a couple facts, but we are definitely gonna do this podcast over because we have a Thanksgiving supper that we are going to attend. And during this Thanksgiving supper, we are going to do a podcast, okay? Just to get people acquainted with the podcast and doing the podcast. One thing that I do on this podcast, I've been doing it for a long time, is I've been talking about the holidays. I might have missed a whole lot of them, but I always like to talk about the holidays and the origin of those holidays. What is the purpose? So, real quick, we're going to just read into what Thanksgiving is for, the purpose, and then read a couple other facts. And then we're just going to wrap it up because I'm not doing much today. I just wanted to make sure that I updated y'all. So, it says, when do we actually celebrate Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving Day, annual national holiday, bothersome, sorry, annual national holiday in the United States and Canada, celebrating others, the harvest and other blessings of that past year. So Americans generally believe that their Thanksgiving is modeled on a 1621 harvest feast shared by the English colonists, Pilgrims, and Plymouth and the Wam- Wampanoag people, Wampanoag people. This is just the Indian tribe. So if you see what it says right there, they were celebrating the harvest and other blessings of this year. So some of them blessings would have been teepees, houses. What else did they come with? They came with weaponry, things of that nature. Medicine. Those are the things that were to be blessed up, be a blessing in that time. But celebrating the harvest also means that more than likely the Indians are the one who planted the seeds, and then the harvest came out great, and they were able to eat all of that food in a feast during Thanksgiving. But what didn't anybody realize was that food was probably scarce. And all of that food that was on that table for Thanksgiving back then, man, let me tell you how it probably was looked at by the Indians. They were probably thinking to themselves, "What are we gonna do?" For real. um, if I go off subject a little bit, y'all, just excuse me. Like I said, I've been dealing with a really heavy stress on my mind, and y'all heard me over here because this is universally spiritual. I've always talked about things like maybe some MK Ultra or maybe some other things that can affect you. So if you hear me and I start not making sense, that is because I definitely have been afflicted in my mind lately. So I keep fading off. If you hear it, do not judge me, y'all. Over here, this is my reality. So you catching it while I'm doing the podcast. Over here, you guys, yes, Plymouth Rock. Why these Indians ain't stand up and take it for themselves? Because they really didn't know, kinda, they really didn't know that it was being taken over. I don't think. I just think that they thought they were being held. I really don't think that they would have let Christopher Columbus and the other colonists come in to their tribe in their tribal land and take it over. Which means that we're not getting the whole truth. This is what I feel. We're not getting the whole truth about Plymouth Rock or Columbus Day. We're going to study and talk about some Columbus Day too. And you guys, I was doing a podcast, but I guess this podcast is not meant to do today, not the actual podcast. I got things over here malfunctioning and whatnot, but you guys are still here with me, so that's the beautiful thing about it. My podcast live. So yeah, I just don't think that makes any sense for the life of me that they're saying a whole tribe. If we were Indians and we're tribal and we're territorial, so if someone comes to our land and tries to take things over, I know what it feels like when somebody try to come in my house and take things over. So if someone comes in our tribe and try to take things over, usually Indians defend their tribes. Usually Indians are ready with them bows, you know what I mean? To throw them bows. But this time it just seems like they were so submissive to the propositions of what was going on. But divine spiritual, I always felt like there was a point in time when exchanging things came about, and the way they did it is that they made another tribe need them, need their help, need their medicine, need their grounds, need, right? And I think that the Indians were in a desperate position where they really did need, because these people came and took over their land. That's what happened is they took over their land. There was nothing they could really do about it because they had stronger power, high power weapons. Their weapons were more dangerous than the bows and the arrows and the staffs they could make. They didn't have guns. Okay, they didn't have guns, but they had arrows and things of that nature, and bows and knives and whatever else that they tried to make. But that is why it happened in the first place. This is what my spirit receives, is that this happened because the colonists came in with different, more advanced weapons. And those weapons put the Indians in a place of submission. And then they basically had to, how should you say, they basically had to just adhere once again to everything that was being told. I don't believe at that time that there were rights, especially human or civil rights. We can check into that at another time on another day, but of course, but right now I'm not going to do it. And but I just want to say, sometimes you got to look way deeper than just the surface, breaking the puncturing the surface, because the roots go all the way down into the earth. I don't know if people know that. We ain't talking about no planted, no newly planted flower. We talk about something that's been around for ages. So that means you got to go further down to get to the root. And I've been taken to the root. And some told me a long time ago they ain't willingly let this happen. They just kind of went up in there taking stuff, and or something like how the Nephilim came down here for real. So maybe we might want to compare those stories at one time, but we were going to do that at the Great Omnism Church .wordpress.com, and you check out the Great Omnism Church YouTube for a service where we could be sitting there talking about how this may have had some slight connection with the Nephilim, the falling angels, the sons of God. Or is that what we call the sons of God? We have the sons of man and the sons of man with the Nephilim and what the Nephilim produce, right? But there is more to Thanksgiving than what meets the eye. And I don't believe that them people should have been thankful for nobody coming in and taking their land. No, I ain't thankful just because you brought your modern day uh ways in here for us to use. Yes, it was fun. It was easier, but it made us lose control of our whole situation. If Plymouth Rock would have never happened, I do believe that slavery would be less. Remember where the Indians came from. The Indians came from Northern America. Plymouth Rock was not too far from here. It's not too far from here at all. Seriously, I'm in Ohio. Plymouth Rock and Columbus landing on Plymouth Rock. Understand Southern and Northern. So I also want to talk about that because the Indians weren't the only one, and the English colonists, I do believe, hit up Southern Africa. So it's a long story. But I think now today's tradition of Thanksgiving, which is getting together with people, coming together with family, unification, giving thanks to God, giving thanks to each other, and the Creator God, of course, but giving thanks to God for each other, thanking each other for carrying one another through life. You thank people for the trials, the tribulations. You thank them for the good times. You thank them for the bad times. You know, it's life is so filled. It's filled with so much, man. It's filled with so much ups, downs, positive, negatives. That we got a lot that we got to be mad about and upset about in our own lives. But in that same breath, we have so much to be thankful for because we need to be thankful for the pilgrims. We need to be thankful for the slaves because if it wasn't for the slaves that put this world together for us, because there was someone slaving them, they built this. They built this, and I think that we should give props. We should give thanks to the Indians. I mean, I'm a Native American. Really, I'm a Native American. I'm a native. I can only say native, you guys. Native American. I am mixed with other races. I'm mixed with Nordic races, and I'm mixed with a little bit of African American races. But my primary race is Indian. So I take it personal. I do, because we got this Black Lives Matter, which is cool, because I'm representing. But what about Red Lives Matter? Because that's exactly what skin color we are. Is we're Red Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. Come on. So you can also check out my advocacy group and you organization. And what is really just a foundation? It's an advocacy foundation called All Life Matters Foundation org. So you can visit that once you go to religionllc.com, or if you go to pushrate inc.org, you'll be led to that page also. And if you want to be a part of it, you can be a part of it. Um, Another thing I'm thankful for is this business, is this nonprofit. The fact that God gave me clarity and understanding, cleared my mind for a minute so I can think straight and be able to do this. Every day is a struggle. Every day is a battle. Every day is warfare. Every day, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I'm not the only person who goes through this. You know what I mean? But regardless of what trials and what weights that were placed on me by humanity or man himself, because it's like God said, don't put your trust in no man, for real, because they gonna fail you every time. And I've been failed 1,000 times, you guys, but I'm still here. I've fought the battle with just being suicide awareness, mental health awareness, I want to say. But I fought my own battle, and I didn't lose it, even though I lost it. I lost that battle, but I didn't lose it because I'm still here. God still woke me up and said, you still got something else to do. you know I think that we need to be thankful for our higher ancestors, our celestial ancestors, our ancient ancestors. We want to say our ancient alien ancestors. We want to be definitely thankful for them because they played a large role in nowadays, even the technology that we have here. Things that we use every day, like Wi-Fi, cell phones, GPS, whatever you want to say, TVs, cameras. We use these things. Look at these cars. They're slowly giving us information that we need to get to the same place that they were. In advanced technology, what I'm saying? Advanced civilization. And we're moving ahead. We're moving forward into an advanced civilization. I think that we need to be very thankful We need to be repenting, you guys, not just living in it, but repenting and thinking about how we need to keep it that way. Sustainability is very important. I might not like the way they do and deliver sustainability, but it is very important. And that's some things that we'll also be talking about on race, rainbow effects, universal spirit music 8. I want to talk about some political things too. Sustainability, just trying to keep the environment together, but not just the environment. We want to make sure we can better the people. So I'm kind of issues only, everybody. I want to talk about voting. There's so much to discuss and so much to talk about. I just want you guys to get involved. Now, I've been on here for a minute, not too long, and I'm not going to stay on here. But I just want to make sure that I did come on here and say a couple words, even though we had a little malfunction. So, my actual podcast is not being recorded right now. But you can definitely contact me at universalspiritmusic808.wordpress.com. And remember, music is always spelled with a Z and a K. Okay? And when you do that, you can go fill out, book a time to discuss a podcast, get on the podcast. If you see any of my pages, I'm going to put the links on the podcast. Then you can go and join in on the podcast while I'm recording it. I have a podcast line, so while I'm doing the podcast, you can definitely call in also. Okay? Everything is everything is in transition. Everything is in the process of being structuring. I always say these words. If you have a business out there, be thankful. Be thankful. If you have people who love you, be thankful. If you have children that you have with you, be thankful. If you have a home, if you have a roof, if you have a shelter, if you have a car, be thankful for whatever it is that you have. Not greedy, but thankful, because a lot of people get these things and they feel like, these things, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. You got gimmes out here. People who grab, and they really don't understand that as much as you have, there's that many people who don't have. So why don't you reach out and help these people? Check out any of my links on any of my pages, my Facebook pages, my platforms, and see if you run into the like I said, visit the nonprofit page, Push Rate Ions 123inc.org, and you'll find your way to the church. And when you get to the church, you're gonna find your way to the fundraising page, and you'll see plenty of options on there. You'll also see the invitation to the virtual Thanksgiving supper, and you'll see the ad, the flyer requesting people fill out a form to do some donations. Don't forget about other people. If you have it, then come on, come become a philanthropist. Get on this page and get on this list so that when people request resources, you can help them. I've seen plenty of people who literally are trying to give away money for the holidays. Why don't you come over here, because I'm looking for that type of support anyways, and I want to try to advertise to people who need that support no matter what area they're in. So they can come here. You're going to put your name on the list, and when people need those provisions, then we can give those provisions to them. And all you got to do is separate a bank account where you want to put your funding, your fundraising money at. That's it. And then when it's time, we'll contact you and we'll provide those funds through you. And it's also where it's tax exempt. So you can definitely, but you guys can file taxes for donating to donating to the Ions 123 organization. And remember, this is a religious agency, so there are different parts, okay, that run over many other different things, like the congregation and the ministry, the outreach, the advocacy, all these things. Okay. So, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the little information that I did give you. I didn't give you the rooter to the tutor. Why? Because I actually want to wait till Thanksgiving Day for that, to really take the time and discuss what the origin of Thanksgiving is. Well, what the Britannica or Webster's says that Thanksgiving is. We know I'm gonna get back in the spirit and I'm gonna start speaking about how I feel. But y'all, I feel sorry for the Indians. I feel sorry for them because I see that what happened is they were vulnerable, even though they were very, very, very smart and very strong and all of that. They did not have firepower, rifles, guns, gunpowder. They didn't have that. So I don't agree with us being thankful and representing this harvest, because this harvest came from the hard work of slaves. Okay? And on Thanksgiving, they were able to give thanks to someone else who pretended they taught them how to plant. These people already was planting their own seeds before Christopher Columbus came along. But all of a sudden, because he came with certain technologies and the ability to structure houses and have, no, all of a sudden, then the whole land, he just claimed somebody else's land. And we'll get into that more into that next time. But right now, I had a good little conversation with y'all. If you ever want to join in on a podcast, y'all already know how to get in touch. I told you, Universal Spirit Music 808.wordpress.com. It's all good. I hope this one sounded good. This was my first just real podcast live on this channel, but I will be here more often. And I hope you guys enjoy the holidays, and I hope to really see you at the virtual Thanksgiving supper. It will be in a group. The links are already posted